Hey, what's up, beautiful people? This is your boy, D Blancas, coming back at you with another geometry lesson. Today we're going to focus on lesson 16. It's called translations. All right? And this is difficult. Most people get lost in translation. Hey, hopefully you get that joke. If you don't, you're too young. But here it goes. All right, what we're going to do, so this is the opening exercise. What they want us to do, for the most part right now, is to draw this line. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see that better. This line L, they want us to draw it up here, but going through point P. So we need to construct that line. And they give us steps on how to do it. But I'm going to show you several different steps. And make sure you understand how to do this, because we're going to keep doing this step over and over and over again. They give you point B over here. That's too close for our compass. So what I'm going to do is off here towards the side, still on your line, I'm going to put point C. So we can just ignore point B right now. All right. So now, using your compass, we're going to measure A and line it up with C. So we're going to do that right here, just like so. All right. This is going to be the radius of your circle. So it's lined up with my C, and A is my middle. Now I'm going to put that on P, just like I did, and make a circle. All right. So just like so. So this is circle P with your radius of AC. All right. So we just constructed that circle. Let me move that down. So you have something like this. That's your first step. Nothing too hard just yet. Now, what they want us to do is get AP. So they want us to line this up. So A is my center. I'm going to put P right here. All they want us to do is line it up. All right, just like I did. A is my center, and this is P right here. Now I'm going to put C as my center. I'm not going to move this. I'm just going to draw another circle like this. All right. So if you notice, your two circles, one crosses here, and the other one crosses here. What you have to do is pick one of these points, either Q1 or Q2, that's going to connect with your P and be parallel. So we know my parallel line needs to go something like that. So that means it's going to line up with Q1. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that just like so. All right, connect these and then draw my line. So there we go. I just constructed a parallel line. So this orange line and this orange line are now parallel. That's all they wanted you to do. All right, so now we're on page 88, and they give you a lot of big definitions here. Okay, so I'm going to explain this very easily for you. Basically, let's look at the image over here. All right, so we have this image that they give us. And that green one I highlighted, let's say they grabbed that image, they grabbed this image, and they moved it over here, which I'm going to highlight in purple. It's the exact same image. The only thing is that they moved it over a few units. If you notice, they drew a line right there. It's an arrow. They're saying that we moved this green figure, we moved it in this direction by this distance. So every point moved in that direction by the distance of C to C. Those are called vectors. They're just telling you which direction and by which distance. All right? So that's a vector. That's what this whole paragraph tries to explain. So I give you some examples over here. So I'm gonna move my camera a bit. There we go. So they want you to draw the vector. Normally what I do when I see that, I look at a point right here. So any point would have worked, it doesn't really matter. But I usually get a point, I get the corresponding point, and then I just draw a line with the arrow. So I'm telling everyone when I drew this that I moved this image over here by this distance. So I'm going to grab this over here. It doesn't matter which point really. All right, this one corresponds with this one. So I moved it like that. I can say that this one corresponds with this one. So these two. And so my vector would means I moved it this way. So that's all they want to know, right? So you have two images, it was translated, where's the vector? So finding it is very simple. We just did that. And like I said, doesn't matter which points. It's when they give you the vector, they give you the first image and they want you to draw the second image. That's the hard part. And that's what we're gonna cover. All right, so we're gonna turn to page 89, as it says right there. All right, and we're gonna try to do this first theorem right here. So I'm gonna move this over, move, there we go. So this is what they want us to do. They want this line, P1 to P2, they want this line to move over this way by this amount. All right, this is the distance that they want. So from here to here and in this direction. So that's what we're going to do. So remember from the opening exercise how we made that parallel line? That's exactly what we're going to do again. All right. So A and B, they're really, really close to each other. Your compass is actually a little bit too small. So I'm going to suggest to use this circle instead. All right. To use this circle. It pretty much from A to B, it's almost the exact same length. So if I line it up, it's almost the exact same length. Excuse me. So I'm gonna use that length, line it up with my P1, and draw my circle. I moved on me. Just like so. And I'm not drawing the full circle because I know that my line is going this way. So I just need this part of the circle because my line is going to go that way. So I just need this part. All right. Now from here, I'm going to line up my A. So put it in the center and line it up with my P1, just like so. Then with my, so once I have it lined up, all right, so there's my A, my P1 is right here. I'm gonna place B as my center and connect. So this is my new Q1. I'm going to do the exact same thing with P2 over here. So I'm gonna line it up. I'm just gonna use this to draw the circle again. All right, just like so. I'm gonna put A as my center. I'm gonna line it up with my P1. All right, so line it up with A. Line this up with your P2, about right there. All right, so there's my A. My P2 is right here. Now that it's lined up, that's gonna be my radius. So put it with your B, which I just did, and then draw your circle. This point where they connect, that's my Q2. So I'm just gonna connect my Q1 with my Q2, just like so. And now I translated that line. So this line and this line are now translated between Q1 and Q2. And it was moved over by vector AB. So I moved in that direction by that distance. All right, so that's exactly what you're going to need to do. And you're going to do it tons of times. So it might suck a little bit. It might be confusing. So just make sure that you keep at it. And let's go to this one. So I'm going to move my camera a bit. So we were just doing lines. Now we have to translate a triangle. We have to move it in this direction. So we're going to move it down slightly towards your left. And we need to move it by that distance. All right. If you notice, your A and B are too close together. So what I suggest to do is put A as your center, which I'm doing right now. If it stops moving, then draw like the circle right there. All right. So like I said, it's a little bit too short. I'm just gonna extend this line right here. So extend it, and this new intersection, that's going to be your point B. All right, so we're gonna move everything in that direction by that distance from A to B. So that's what we're going to do. I'd say go ahead, take a few moments, see if you can do this by yourself. If not, you can just follow along with what I'm doing. All right. So between A and B, we know that distance is this circle that we have. So in my P1, I'm going to make a circle of that same distance. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the circle like so. Now I don't need a full circle because I'm just going in this direction. So that's the part of the circle that I need. Now I'm going to line up my A with my P1. So I'm going to line it up like so. There we go. Once I have that distance, I'm going to put B as my center. Let me zoom out a little bit. So B is my center now. And wherever I set it, I'm just going to do that. This is going to be my new Q1. All right. That's going to be my new point. So this P1, it's now moved over here. Let's do the same thing with P2. So place it right there. Again, I don't need the full circle. Just going this way. All right, just like so. Line up your A with your P2. So that's just moving this over. And it's almost at the very edge like so. Put B as your center now. And that is your new Q2. Right here, that's your Q2. All right, do the same thing with P3. So right here, again, I only need this part of the circle because that's the direction we're going. Put A as your center. Line it up with your P3. So here's my P3. All right. Now that you have the distance, place it on your B. And then that's where you draw your circle. So this right here is now my Q3. So I have my 3 points now. All right, I'm gonna connect those. So from Q1 to Q2, let's connect them. So go ahead and do that. From Q2 to Q3, connect those. So do that. And then from Q1 to Q3, go ahead and connect those. And if you notice, now we have this triangle down here, which I'm going to highlight so you can see it very easily. You see it's the exact same triangle, but we just moved it over in the direction of where vector A and B is going, and by that same distance. Boom. Done. Right? Told you this was going to be a little bit tough. And it is supposed to be tough. But this is how you translate objects. They're the same distance, same angles, just moved over. Your job now is, once you're done with this, you can try the problem sets. All right, you got, I'm starting on page 90. You got number 1, number 2, and it goes all the way to page 91. But great job today. Let me know if you have any questions. Peace out, Girl Scout.